Yo, what's up guys? Welcome in! Cassha Lumir is a raider pilot with heavy type license. Although she is classified as a raider, Cassha can protect allies from assault and range attacks. And that's not all. Protect against melee attacks once she unlocks her signature weapon. Additionally, her passive allows her to trigger special link Retaliation attack, adding extra team damage. Since her main source of damage comes from Retaliation, Cassha thrives in situations where enemies attack frequently, instead of spending large amount of IP on direct attacks. Let's see what she can do and how we should play Cassha. Thanks to her talent, Cassha can dual machine gun during Retaliation, increasing her counter-attack damage. She also gained quick draw through Retaliation enhancement stacks, allowing her to act first, similar to Yevgeny. This makes Cassha especially strong in niche missions with AP handicaps, instead of spending limited AP to attack enemies. Additionally, each stack increases her Retaliation damage, up to 75% bonus. At A3, Cassha grants 1 additional IP in total after Retaliation. On its own, this bonus isn't game-changing. However, it becomes more meaningful because Cassha is relatively AP hungry, especially for her signature skill, which is a core part of her kit. If you plan to use her signature skill every turn, that extra AP can help with rotation. Skill 1 Passive Skill. As a reminder, Cassha gameplay focus on Retaliation. She doesn't chase fights. Every turn, it's about setting her up to counter. She should be prepared to counter multiple enemies in single turn. The more they attack, the more value she generates. For certain stages, we can rush Cassha alone with one pilot as a bait, or use Pochi as a bait, and this passive helps survive and counter-attack as much as possible. Skill 2 cost 6 AP. Cassha signature skill. There are two major reasons why this skill is so important. Reason 1. Damage reduction. Whenever Cassha ends her turn, she gains Retaliation enhancement stacks. 1 guarantee stack from her talent, additional stack from neural drives. We'll cover that later. The number of stacks depends on how many enemies are nearby. However, these stacks can disappear quickly after a few Retaliation. For example, if multiple enemies attack in a row, they can be gone fast, which leads to the second reason. Each Retaliation does not consume Retaliation enhancement stacks. Cassha also has guaranteed AoE follow-up attack after enemy's turn, if enemies are still nearby after her Retaliation. This AoE will trigger. If all enemies are already defeated by her counters, she won't cast the AoE. Instead, she recovers 3 AP. Skill 2 Option 2. This is support passive that adds extra damage for your team. Before Cassha's signature weapon come into play, this passive skill may be less popular. Depends if you choose the guard skill for skill 3 or not. This passive grants each pilot extra link Retaliation attack. During your turn, Cassha can perform 2 link attacks as usual, but during the enemy turn, if you have 6 pilots on your team, that is 5 additional link Retaliation triggered while the enemies are acting. Once again, all of this happens during the enemy's turn. Skill 3 Guard skill. This will be important skill to set up Cassha before her signature weapon. You can only target one pilot, so your choice depends on the stage and your team composition. The idea is to send one pilot or Pochi as a bait to the front and let the enemies attack them. Most of the time, enemy AI will not target Cassha directly, but this can vary depending on your team setup. This skill also synergizes with Cassha signature skill. After using guard skill, you can continue your action, either performing another skill or repositioning Cassha. Keep in mind, this skill is only active for one turn and has 2 turns cooldown. How good is signature weapon? Cassha gameplay gets a big boost with her signature weapon. Once Cassha has Retaliation enhancement stack, so after she ends her action, she can guard all allies within one tile. Additionally, she can also protect allies from melee attacks. When Turning Point is active, which is after she casts 6 AP signature skill, the range increases to 2 tiles, which is actually very good and easy to set up your team. The benefits are clear. No need to bring dedicated guard skill, you gain extra skill slot, no need to select which pilot to protect. Cassha automatically shields all friendly units within 2 tiles. Cassha's signature weapon doesn't just replace guard, it also unlocks new Retaliation combos. Thanks to Retaliation enhancement stacks, she can activate at strike, retaliating before the enemy even attacks her. Then after the enemy attacks, she retaliates again. This adds more damage and can even disarm enemies before they hit Cassha. For retaliation focused pilots like Cassha, this signature weapon is a game changer. We can get the signature weapon from Arm Conquest number 11. Cassha ST, is it worth pulling? Let's break it down first. 4-piece set grants up to 25% damage, but only if none of the parts are destroyed, and only triggers during the enemy turn, when enemies initiate combat. Perfect for retaliation setups only. What about Rainbow set? Extra damage when dealing damage with 2 weapons at once. At the max level, adds +1 range for assault weapons during retaliation. If you are skipping Cassha, there is no reason to pull this ST. The modules aren't versatile, they are mainly used for Cassha. Don't get me wrong, it's good ST, but it's highly specialized. Only pull if you build in Cassha. Best weapons: 2 machine guns. They are the best to activate her talent and all key passives. Backpack and mobility. Soon, the first rainbow backpack will be craftable. Armor Jammer is excellent for Cassha, adding extra mobility, especially good for heavy pilots. Or we can go weight plus armor, depending on which ST you plan to use and if using light version machine gun or heavy. Rogue ST, which will be free in the future, is one of the best ST for Cassha. It works perfectly with her passive, especially when fighting strong elite enemies. When Cassha retaliates against multiple enemies in a row, she attacks first. Some elite enemies may break her parts. With Rogue ST, destroyed parts are repaired, so even if Cassha cannot destroy elite and lose a part, she remains almost invincible. Module recommendation. Now that we know how Cassha works, her top modules are Hela, the best option, provides guarantee 30% damage on every retaliation. XR module, strong secondary choice. If you don't have Hela or XR, we can go defensive modules for extra healing or damage reduction. For weapon accessories, for Cassha you only need 1 trigger accessory. For retaliation, we can mix with link attacks, but most of her damage will come from retaliation. A double retaliation bolt work best. So whenever Cassha retaliates, both weapons can activate reaction accessory. Weapon setup example: First machine gun, EQ buffs. Second machine gun, reaction accessories for damage. Cassha Neural Drives overview. If you decide to pull and bolt Cassha, she can technically perform fine with zero bindings. From gaming perspective, she doesn't require bindings investments. Most of her passive are quality of life improvements or extra damage, not mandatory. 1 CP grants extra retaliation enhancements stacks when Cassha ends her action, up to 2 stacks. Very useful if you want to save AP instead of using her 6 AP signature skill, if we don't have many enemies around. 7 CP standard re-attack bonus, not critical for Cassha, since she often spent AP on her signature skill anyway. 10 CP dispel 1 buff from the attacker. 13 CP survive ability passive, damage taken -10. 16 CP boost retaliation damage for dual machine guns by 0.1 multiplayer, perfect for maximizing Cassha core damage output. Final thoughts, is Cassha worth? Well, short answer, yes. If she is your waifu, nothing can beat that. No, from meta perspective, Cassha is very niche pilot. Her main damage comes from retaliation, which only shine in certain setup. How often will you rely on this mechanic? Not often, maybe in handicap AP challenges. On CN, she's even nicknamed Meme Cassha. Fun fact, with her signature weapon and Rock ST, she can solo some stages later, but that's mostly for meme runs. Tier analysis. High on Booba tier list, fun character value indeed. Low on the meta tier list, practical combat value. Investment notes. If you decide to invest, her ST is strongly recommended, and eventually rainbow it. Snipers will attack Cassha from 4 range, and she cannot retaliate that range without the rainbow effect. Rainbow ST is crucial because sniper can break her arms, and she needs both arms intact to function properly. Personal take, I'm skipping Cassha and her ST. If I pull her off banner in the future, I might bolt her, but nothing serious. On CN I got her, never use her. Even at max investment, she is not game changer. But like we said, if you like Cassha or she is your waifu, you know what to do. Hopefully this will help you decide your pulls and understand how Cassha works. Thank you guys for watching and catch you on the next video. Bye bye!